So now that Kristie Noem's out, Democrats have a new primary target, and that is Attorney General Pam Bondi. Between the Epstein cover-up allegations, a bipartisan subpoena vote, articles of impeachment, and polls showing that she is one of the most unpopular officials in the Trump administration, Bondi may be on thinner ice than she realizes. And while Democrats, they've been critical of Bondi from the start, the energy was being split between her and Noem while ICE operations dominated the news cycle. But now, as you have Mark Wayne Mullen as the new DHS head, you have reports speculating that Bondi, she's about to absorb the most collateral damage from the fallout. And easily the biggest pressure point is the Epstein files, right? Cherry-picked redactions, delayed promises, files that were just straight up hidden. And so you've had Congress watching this play out in real time, and Bondi's explanations haven't been landing.
40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out of
he's
over
listed as a co-conspirator.
4,700, and we invited you in.
Switch.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
And her handling of the files has now cost her bipartisan support. 5 Republicans on the House Oversight Committee joined Democrats to vote to subpoena her. Also, articles of impeachment have been brought against Bondi for obstruction of Congress and dereliction of duty over the withholding of Epstein documents. And while there's been no response from the DOJ there so far, Democratic leadership, they are making it clear that Bondi is next in line. You had Hakeem Jeffries reportedly calling out both Bondi and advisor Stephen Miller after Noem's departure, saying, "We're going to approach those 2 toxic individuals with the same intensity that has now led to the termination of Kristie Noem." And his core issue with Bondi is something that we've heard from a lot of people: transparency.
The Department of Justice is now withholding, in violation of the law, more than 3 million documents related to the Epstein files.
You also had House Judiciary Ranking Member Jamie Raskin telling Axios, there's a culture of lawlessness and chaos in the cabinet, and Noem was a big part of it, but Bondi is a central part of it, and she's been at the heart of the Epstein cover-up. And then there's this little detail that might have done the most damage to whatever goodwill Bondi had left. She reportedly cataloged the search histories of members of Congress who reviewed the unredacted Epstein files. Which, just take a second to think about. Pam Bondi put more effort into tracking who was looking at the files than into identifying the people who were in the files. So that landed like a bomb on Capitol Hill and only reinforced the cover-up narrative. All while Pam Bondi's public approval is cratering. Right, as I mentioned, polls show she is one of the most unpopular officials in the current administration. And with this president, the TV, social media president, unpopularity tends to be the beginning of the end. But I will say, we'll see how this plays out. A big part of Trump 2.0 is that no one gets fired, even though like Kristie Noem recently got fired, but really didn't because she got a position that sounds made up, right? Whether it be this or Signalgate, Trump this time around, he doesn't like to say that he fires people. He kind of moves them around like they're Catholic priests back in the day. But for specifically Bondi, she's not in a great place, right? The subpoena vote was bipartisan. The impeachment articles are filed. The public doesn't appear to be on her side, and the Epstein files are not going away. But ultimately, we'll see what happens. Yes, you have a few Republicans breaking ranks, but, and you saw this in the Noem situation, they only ever really go after the person if there's been kind of a signal that they end up being fair game, that they're no longer protected by Trump.